You also hear all this stuff about, why is in a history of our life, why does nobody have real proof? Because every picture you see of a Bigfoot, it's always blurry.
Right. Nobody's got no iPhone 15 or nothing like that, right?
Well, they'll have a clear pic somebody, but then not Bigfoot. It's always fuzzy. I've wanted to believe this since I was a kid, man. I mean, and people say UFOs are dropping them off, but I don't know.
Well, it's funny you brought that because this led me into do some research, right? There's a strong theory, and I actually have people love facts. I got facts for you on this. There's a strong, very strong theory that these Bigfoot creatures are actually aliens, UFOs. And in fact, people are saying BS, if you want the facts, here's the best place to look for it. The Royal Canadian Mounted Police, especially in Western Canada, they have files where they refer to the cigar-shaped UFOs as Bigfoot UFOs, right? And they and their reports, those Bigfoots are getting dropped on and off out of those cylinder-shaped cigar UFOs. And so, you have the round type, you have the triangle types, you have the type that spin sideways or whatever, and you have the cigar-shaped ones, right? So there's a good series. There's a great series that I enjoy watching that you guys should go check out. It's called The Missing 411, right? Have you ever heard about that, cuz?
No.
No, it's a great story. I'll turn that on to you after the podcast or whatever. And in his story, they've talked about some of the missing disappearances that go on around up in those areas as well. And so, yes, saying that Bigfoot could be possibly aliens, I mean, Chewy can be real, dog.
You don't ever see them.
Yeah, right. That's probably why you don't see. You ever thought about? Yep. So this is crazy, right? So we're big Star Wars buffs, right? Chewbacca was like 130 years old, right? Smarter than everybody, doing all kinds of like engineering stuff. What if these things, bro, are like 5 or 6 times smarter than us, right? And they're
if they exist, then they got to be, because nobody's ever gotten any real proof on these things.
No, right? Yeah, exactly. And then if anybody was if anybody was ever collected, that they would come in and take it away. We would never see it or anything like that, right? So, but I had a theory after watching that Missing 411 is that what if there was an alien species that couldn't take our atmosphere, couldn't take our, Earth's atmosphere, and they genetically created these things to be able to survive on Earth, right? And for whatever reason, they would come down here to, do whatever they're doing. I don't know, collect herbs. Who knows? I don't even know, right? Who knows what they're doing, right?
Go buck hunting.
Right, yeah, exactly right. Who knows? They're running their own shine, right? Picking up on the way by or whatever. Who knows why? But maybe that could be it. And if you think about it, right, there's also a historical reference to Bigfoot. It's called the Epic of Gilgamesh. I think there was the guy in there, Nimrod. It was King Nimrod. I think he had a best friend who was called like a hairy wild man. Basically, looked like a yeti or whatever. We'll do a podcast on that as well. That thing's pretty awesome right there. But yeah, man. So that just made me think that these things could be. They could have been here before us, hundreds of thousand years before us, living in those caves. I've heard stories of the skunk apes that smell like sulfur, right, down in Florida. Have you ever heard about those?
Those, huh?
So supposedly the Sasquatch in Florida look more like orangutans, right? But they stink. Oh. So they say they smell like skunk apes, right? But what it is they smell like sulfur, right? Like rotten eggs, right? That's how they describe them, right? And this is what sulfur smells like. And if you've been around any cave systems that have sulfur in it, that's the stink that comes out of it, right? So I don't know if there's some kind of cave system down there in the Everglades underneath it. I don't have any experience with that. But.
And it's kind of like the fuzzy pictures. If you've been close enough to one to actually smell it and know that's where the smell's coming from.
Yeah.
What pictures of this thing?
Yeah.
And don't have pictures. How do you know that smell is actually coming from what you're calling a?
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
No, yeah.
There's plenty not to believe it, but I just want to believe it.
Yeah, I'm the same way, right? So what we have is we have word of mouth stories that are passed down from
Yeah.
culture, from even from region. Like, so supposedly the on the West Coast up in Seattle, northern USA, where it butts up against Western Canada, their Bigfoots are not the same as described as the same as the ones that we get in the Appalachian Mountains up through Tennessee as well. Those out in the West Coast are supposedly bigger, 10 to 12 feet. And I think the ones in Alaska are about 10 to 12 feet as well. But I think those are black ones. Like, they have the black fur. And also, too,
Okay.
and so ours are always told that they were brown. They had the brown fur, right? But then I saw this one thing that was telling me that you can tell if a Bigfoot is mean or not. The 4 and 5-toed Bigfoots are supposed to be friendly, but the 3-toed Bigfoots are supposed to be very, very aggressive. I heard that.
See,
Huh?
I didn't even know such a thing as a different toed Bigfoot.
Yeah, no, I heard this from a cat out of Louisiana, actually. And then I did some looking on the internet as well, and some people will talk about it. And they're saying that the Louisiana Bigfoots have 3 feet, and they're saying it could be to like some type of like inbreeding or whatever, right? So you know the little footprints that you see all the time?
Yeah.
So supposedly the 3-footed Bigfoot are supposed to be the more aggressive. 3-toed. Yeah, 3-toed Bigfoots. Sorry about that. Are supposed to be the more aggressive, with the 4 toes and the regular looking ones or whatever are supposed to be the more, won't come. They'll throw rocks at you, they say, but they won't ever try to rush you or whatever. And I've heard stories of guys. I knew a guy from Louisiana, Shreveport actually, but he didn't have any Bigfoot experience. But he had told me stories that some of the boys he went to high school with, they used to go hunt hogs, right? And he had told stories that they had got chased out of the swamp by these mean ass Bigfoots down there as well.
Subscribe now and turn on the notifications to join us on this extraordinary journey into the unknown.